Hey everybody, it's DJ with Tad Steege. Much to the chagrin of my coworkers, I survived last week's shitty work week. I want to thank everybody who sounded off on my last video. I know it was angry, I know it was frustrated, but a lot of you really, you gave me some support, and right here, right here for that. I appreciate that. That's why I do this, and that type of feedback is why I love doing this. But I'm back. I'm back to being me. I'm back to having fun with this. I'm done being in a bad mood. And today I'm gonna get my geek on. I'm gonna kind of steal a little bit of Azure's Thunder and do a little nostalgia, as well as a couple of reviews. Um, First thing I want to do, I'm reading a really good book. Yes, I read, and no, it doesn't have pictures. It's a real novel, but a little bit of geek involved. Absolutely fantastic book, The Last Days of Krypton by Kevin Anderson. If you're a Superman fan or a comic book fan, this is a must read, man. It really kind of chronicles everything that happens. It starts off at a certain point, several months, maybe even a year or so before. If you're familiar with this Superman story, if you're not, you probably already turned this video off by now. If you're familiar with the Superman story, Krypton exploded and, he was, shot out to Earth. This kind of goes back maybe about a year before, that all happens, and explains what was going on in the lives of, key Kryptonians in the Superman mythos, and, what was going on in their lives, and, how his dad Jor-El and, his Jor-El's brother Zor-El, both in their own ways, were starting to really realize that something bad was happening to the planet, and they were there was an impending doom, and they were both trying to rush to prevent it from happening, or at least find a way to save Krypton. There's some really good and original kind of plot lines that your purists may not like, and there's a lot of purists that'll say, "Oh, that's bullcrap. That never happened, and that's bullshit, and I'll never read it, and blah 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 this, and it was a crappy book." It's a fantastic book. It takes some characters. If you ever watched the movies, Superman 2, you had General Zod, Aether, and Nam. It really they're really all three integral in this book, and they've got a great subplot surrounding them, and it really kind of gives you the origins of certain people. And it's just a great read. I mean, if you're a fan of Superman, you're a fan of comic books, you're a fan of science fiction in general, pick this book up, man. I strongly recommend it. I'm about halfway through it now. I'm looking forward to the end of it. It really goes into some detail as to what may or may not have happened before Superman left, because there's a lot of questions there if you're a fan. And I'm not sure they've ever really explained it in the detail that this book does. Fantastic read. I definitely encourage anybody to pick it up. Get your geek on, man. Nothing wrong with it. All right, nostalgia time. And again, more geek. This one, again, like I said, I'm stealing a little bit from Azure's Thunder. My wife and I love cheesy sci-fi. We sit down most Saturday nights and find the Sci-Fi Network has like the absolute most cheesiest movies I've ever seen in my life on there, and we love them. The acting's usually bad, the special effects are usually horrible, the storylines are but we have a blast watching them. And I want to pay homage today to what personally I think is one of the original gems of cheesy sci-fi. Flash Gordon, baby, starring Sam J. Jones. This was the movie for me back in the day. Every kid that I grew up with wanted to be Sam J. Jones as Flash Gordon. Let me tell you something. Check it out. This is the Savior of the Universe edition. It's got a little flip up. It's got a little picture inside. Let me see the DVD. This movie, let me tell you, it came out in 1980. And I probably saw it for the first time. TNT and TBS used to play the shit out of this movie. And every time it was on, I'd watch it. And even, when we first got HBO in my house, it was on all the time on HBO. That was back in the way early 80s, and I know I'm aging myself there, but whatever. Flash Gordon had everything, man. It had cheesy special effects, which at the time the special effects were probably really good. You watch it now and you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. I watched it about 2 weeks ago, and my wife came through. She's like, what the hell are you watching? I'm like, it's Flash Gordon. Come on now. Sam J. Jones. Man, at the time, This dude, like I said, every kid I grew up with on the block wanted to be this dude and wanted to be Flash Gordon and look just like this guy. His acting in this movie was horrible, but I tell you what, it had some of the best cheesy dialogue I've ever seen in a movie. The special effects at the time were probably pretty good. The characters were great. Had a great ensemble cast. Sam J. Jones, Max von Sydow, wasn't it? Wait a minute. Yeah, Max von Sydow, Topol. I don't know who the hell Topol was, but I guess he was good enough at the time to have be a one name actor. Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton would eventually go on to star in, I think, 2 James Bond movies, and really got some face time here. Just a great movie. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. And again, like I watch it now and I'm like, holy crap, it was bad. Dino De Laurentiis brought this to us. A lot of you probably know that's the grandfather of Giada De Laurentiis. He did some of the spaghetti westerns back in the day. He also did the original Conan movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm really rambling. I'm all over the road on this. If you're a fan of sci-fi, and again, a fan of cheesy sci-fi, pick that bitch up. I love that movie. I love it now, today, as much as I did the first time I saw it. And even now I look at it, and it's about as cheesy a movie as you can get. But it's great cheese. It had a great soundtrack by Queen. How can you beat that? I mean, you got great Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle. How great of a line was that for anybody who's seen it? If you haven't seen it, you need to pick it up. Great soundtrack by Queen. I mean, the title soundtrack, Flash Gordon, is just, memorable, timeless, from a great band. Queen's one of my all-time favorite bands. Pick it up, man. It's, you know what? Drown yourself in your geekdom. Drown yourself in some cheese. Because I got news for you. There is some Velveeta all over this bitch, and it is an hour and a half well spent. I promise you. That's pretty much it. I just want to do those quick things. One more thing. I'm going to try and get this uploaded before my show today, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, September 25th. DJ Tats Deej on Blog TV. I'm going to post the link. Whichever side the link ends up being on. Click on it, man. I want to see you all there. Have a good time. I'm going to play some music. We're going to goof off. I'm going to cut up. It's going to be fun. We did it about a week ago. Had Aces Wolf co-hosting with me. Had a few people in there, man. Love Spell Fatale, Deep Love, Hypocrite. A bunch of people in there, man. We had a blast. I'm going to try and rotate out co-hosts. I want to get some people up there and really get inside people's heads. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm out.